Welcome to this simple acrylic wildflowers painting. It's suitable for beginners and you don't need any drawing skills. So, shall we get started? This is the gorgeous reference photograph. I'm going to be using. A link for this and a full list of materials can be found in the description below. Just click show more. I've got a handful of old brushes here, some small rounds and a large flat. I'm also using a plastic palette knife, but you could use an old store card if you wanted to. I'm making a stay wet palette, and this is to stop my acrylics drying out in the palette. So I've wet some paper towel and I'm putting some parchment, or you can use greaseproof paper, over the top, and this will be used for my palette. And it's also a great way of not having too much mess. You can just throw this away afterwards or cover it and keep it in a cool place, and the acrylic paints won't dry out. It's amazing. I'll put a link in the description below as well about all the materials that I'm using throughout all of my tutorials, which will help explain them a little bit more in depth. So I'm using an acrylic primed pad. It is 10 by 12 inches, and I put some washi tape around the edge so I'll get a really nice white border. I'm just using a mid-green and putting some dots on. The main reason to do this is just to get the background going, to get myself going. So I'm painting sort of the background, the flowers are last. I put some dark green at the bottom. Now I'm using my flat brush and I'm just going to blend this paint here, and it's a way of loosening up, especially if you're a beginner. It's quite a nice way of just getting started. You can loosen up, and the beauty of acrylics, guys, listen here, if it goes wrong you can just paint over the top. And for years I've taught students who come in with these quite heavy canvases because they've got so many paintings underneath. So don't feel afraid, you can just have another go. So while the paint was still wet there, I put some black at the bottom just to make some really dark grasses, and I'm just blending with that large flat synthetic brush, and it's just so much fun to do. You can also use a household paintbrush for this, and it'll actually create some textures as well. So that's quite nice. I put a little bit of yellow at the top there. I've rinsed my brush so there's not got any more black on there. Black and yellow make a great green, by the way, but that's a lovely light colour at the top. So I've got light at the top and darker colours at the bottom. I've just decided to put a little bit more of that yellow at the bottom as well, so I've got a few highlights in place. Time to dry your painting. So I've dried my painting with a hairdryer, but it's quite a good idea to dry it naturally if you have time. So once it's all dry, I'm using some cadmium yellow here, any yellow will do, and I'm using a small round brush, and I'm just putting on the centres of the flowers. Remember, there's no drawing here. I'm keeping everything really loose. So I'm composing the shapes or the composition here by just putting these dots in. So I'm not copying the photograph. So I'm putting some lower, some higher. So there's a nice balance there. And there are actually going to be 7 blooms here. So it's quite nice. So I've rinsed my brush, and now I'm just going to paint the petals. Now there's no drawing involved here, so I'm blocking in this cobalt blue. If you don't have cobalt blue, you could use ultramarine with a touch of white in it. Not too much. In acrylics, I like to work, it's traditional to work dark to light. So you put your darker tonal values on first and you build up to your light. I always try to encourage my students, try not to use any white paint at the beginning. It's hard to do if you're painting a sky, but if you're not, try to steer away from the white. That way you get to build up those darker tones, which are really, really important. So as you see here, I'm just blocking in these shapes here. No drawing expertise required here. I'm sure you could probably do a lot better job, but it's just to sort of get this general overall shape of these gorgeous sort of flax flowers here, nice and simple. So once you've got all your sort of darkest tones on, I'm going with a lighter blue here. If you don't, it's like a cerulean. If you don't have that, just add a bit of white to your cobalt blue. So I'm actually painting this on here, damp into damp, so the acrylic cobalt blue, the bigger sort of background petals are still damp. If they've dried off a bit, use a spritzer bottle, which I'll use later as well, to keep everything from drying out. So I'm just putting in the lighter centre petals here, but keeping the dark around the edge as well. So make sure you don't paint over that dark, because you see in the photograph, the outline and the edges of the petals are darker. So I'm just painting this on here with a small, flat, kind of almost a 1/4 inch brush, but a round brush will do perfect as well. And I'm just being very generous, really loading my brush and putting this creamy sort of lighter blue paint on through the centre. And now I'm actually painting some little buds here, more than what you can see in the photograph. A little bit of artistic license goes a long way in painting. Now this is just white on its own, and I found that the acrylic paint was slightly sticky there, so I'm going to give that a little spritz with my spritzer bottle. It's quite, you can actually get one of these from a household sort of cleaning product as well. Just make sure you have, don't have any cleaning product left in there, but you can get them from a local pharmacy, these little spritzer bottles. Here it is here, and I'm just spritzing just to kind of get everything so it's just sort of easier to blend this white. If you don't have a spritzer bottle, just blow dry everything and then just put the white on top and blend. As you can see, I'm blending here with my fingertips as well, so you get this kind of smudgy, soft look, which you can see in the photograph as well. Again, no drawing skills here. It's just so much fun to be able to express yourself in this way without worrying about getting things exactly right. It's almost an impressionistic style of painting. I've allowed my painting to dry, and I'm just adding a little bit of warmer yellow in the centres. I've actually squeezed out some orange, but if you don't have any orange, you could use some red and yellow mixed together, and it's just to really sort of bring out those centres, especially if you've sort of done a little bit of finger painting with the white, you could have lost some of your centre. So I'm just sort of reapplying some of the fresh warm yellow here. I've gone to a very small round brush. You could use a rigger or a liner brush. You could even use a twig. And I'm just applying some of the blue wet on dry now. So I've blow dried my painting so it doesn't mix with the white. And it's just to paint that detail in the centre of the flowers, those very thin lines that make it identifiable as a flaxseed flower. And it's quite nice. I'll make these a little bit darker. I felt that they weren't dark enough here, but try to vary the length of these marks and the sort of try to curve them as well, so it shows the curviness of the petals as well. I've actually added a little bit of black. You could use Payne's grey to the blue, the cobalt blue. You could even use Prussian blue if you've got some, just to paint some darker marks in the centre, wet on dry. just adding a little bit of white paint to the top of some of these buds here, just to paint a little bit of detail, again exaggerating what I see in the photograph. I'm using my size, a really small brush here, a size 2 brush, and I'm actually painting wet on dry some white back in the centre of the flowers. Remember I said to try and keep the white till last there, but it's just to give a little bit more detail, a little bit more highlights to these lovely flowers as well. I've allowed my painting to dry again. I'm just mixing up some orange and blue. You could actually use a little bit of brown for this as well if you don't have any of these colours. I'm just painting a little bit of shadow colour in the centre of the flowers there, just to give a little bit of depth and some detail there, using a small round brush for this little bit of detail. And it's quite effective there. Remember, less is more. Try not to overdo it and lose your light. I'm mixing up a bit of the cadmium yellow and the cobalt blue just to make a mid-green, and I'm using a small liner brush, and I'm just painting in some stems here now. If your stems go wrong and you don't like what you've done, just wet it quickly or use a damp tissue and just swipe off. I feel a little bit that these are, the actual green that I mixed up was too similar to the tonal value, so I've had to make it a bit lighter. So I've added more yellow. You could even add a little bit of white. And as you can see, I'm starting from the flowers and pulling down rather than going up sometimes. It's easier. And then I'm doing some sort of bendy stems for the buds as well. So it's just fun to do, and just building up these greens and textures in the background, going darker, mixing up a little bit more blue in your paint, maybe even a bit of black and yellow, which is what I'm mixing here to create some darker greens. It's so much fun sort of just using all these different sort of colours here, greens, and just try to vary them and vary the shapes, and, you know, just let go a little bit. I'm adding a little bit of white here to a very pale green, and just sort of flicking my brush around and just really having lots of fun bringing some of the highlights of these forward to create some depth really in the painting. And you think about now the beginning stage where you did that sort of green. It really works well now as a backdrop, those marks there. Now we're doing individual, more detailed marks that come forward, and I'm using my rigger brush here just to create some thinner leaves. Well, that's what I loved about this painting as well. The leaves and stems were quite sort of simple to do, and it kind of makes you relax more because of that. I'm just painting in some darker buds here in shadow, again just for details. And you can see I'm just being very random. I'm not copying the photograph, I'm going with the flow of the painting, creating my own work. I'm using the photograph as a reference more than keep looking and slavishly copying, because you can tighten up that way. So I'm using a little bit more of the yellow with a little bit of light green really. If you don't have any of the light green, you can just use a bit of blue with yellow. And I'm printing with a card, the side of a card, and I'm bending it slightly so I don't have completely straight lines. It's a really great technique, so much fun to do, and just keep sort of changing your colours and printing and have fun. I must admit I had a lot of fun there. I had to stop myself. I've just watered down some white acrylic paint and I'm just spattering. You don't need to do this, but hold the brush sort of halfway down the handle and tap very firmly. Try not to get the brush to wobble. Try to keep it firm in your hand and the paint will come off better. But as I say, you don't have to do this. I've just watered down some of the cerulean blue and I'm just spattering that as well, sort of to make it look like there was little distant wildflowers here. It's so gorgeous. And just creating lots and lots of texture and detail, and spattering stops me from fiddling and overworking my painting as well. So the painting is finished. I'm removing this washi tape to reveal a really lovely white border. It's a great way of assessing your painting to see if you need to do any more work, but I definitely will leave it there for now. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'll put a link also in the description below, because I've also done a watercolour version of this photograph as well, which is quite different but lots and lots of fun. Also, if you like watercolour, check it out in the description below. If you have any questions at all, please put them in the comments section below. Any suggestions for future tutorials also, I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more tutorials like this, don't forget, if you haven't already, to subscribe to my acrylic painting channel, where you will get updates of my latest tutorials. Thank you again for watching. Happy painting. Bye for now.